Okay. So the first students who are going to be presenting the research paper is on our rights, and she's ready. So we're going to give you the floor. I know this girl. She has been a committed girl to come here all the time, and she has loved English as she could love her own life. She was always here on time, committed to study, more participative in class, inclusive in class work, and all the work is done. And she was always on time, never wasting time, and she's a committed student that we would like first to give a big round of applause before she starts. Without any more waste of time, will you have the floor now?
Thank you, sir. Dear jury members, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your presence to our ceremony graduation. My topic is about genetically modified organisms, a solution for world hunger. Concerning the story of GMOs, GMOs stand for genetically modified organisms. Let me break it down word by word. Genetically refer to gene. Genes are made up of DNA, which is a set of instructions for how cells grow and develop. Second is modified. This implies that some change or tweak has been made. Lastly, we have the word organism. When it comes to GMOs, many people only think of crops. It refers to all living things, including bacteria and fungi. GMOs are products produced using scientific methods that contain recombinant DNA technology and reproduction cloning. DNA is a biological macromolecule present in almost cells as well as many viruses. It was discovered in 1849 by Swiss researcher Friedrich Michel. We are also genetic engineering. Is a science of manipulating genetic material of an organism. In research, GMOs are used to study gene function, expression growth, loss of function, tracking, and expression experiments. The researchers and biologists Ava Boyer and Stanley Cohen made the first GMOs in 1973, a bacterium resistant to the antibiotic kanamycin. The first genetically modified food to be commercialized was tomatoes, and the animal was glowfish. And the genetically modified food to be approved for food use is Aqua Advantage salmon. In GMOs, we have many technologies. Molecular cloning is a set of experimental methods in molecular biology that are used to assemble recombinant DNA molecules and to direct their replication within host organisms. Molecular cloning is a basic technique in molecular biology and biotechnology laboratories. We have also gene delivery. Gene delivery systems are essentially necessary for the gene therapy of human genetic disease. is a unique way that is able to use the adjustable gene to cure any diseases. The goal of research for gene delivery system is to develop the clinically relevant vector such as viral and non-viral vectors that use to combat elusive disease such as cancer, AIDS, Alzheimer, etc. Gene therapy is a unique technique to prevent and to recover any disease. As we know, in everything there are positive impact and negative impact. GMOs will not miss this rule. On animal, GMOs pose a potential risk to insects, particularly those involved in pollination of GMOs crops, as well birds, insects, organisms, soils, and water. In human health also is a negative impact. GMOs plant may create new allergen or unintentionally confer antibiotic resistance in human. In positive impact of GMOs in disease resistance. There are many viruses, fungi, and bacteria that cause plant disease. Plant biologists are working to develop plants with genetically engineered. At this point, I would like to introduce to your attention a great lady, Dr. Hortense Dodo, an African-American scientific entrepreneur and also a molecular biologist and a university professor. Dr. Dodo developed a patented technology to eliminate allergen of peanuts, one of the most severe and deadly food allergies. In the United States, approximately 4 million people report their allergies peanut and tree nut. By using GMOs, Dr. Dodo was able to remove the allergen from source and produced peanuts substantially equivalent to conventional nutrition in yield and the field. We have also positive impact in pharmaceuticals. Medicine and vaccines are often costly. Sometimes it requires a special storage condition not readily available in third world countries. Researchers are working to develop edible vaccines in tomato and potatoes. This vaccine will be much easier to ship, store, and administer than traditional injectable vaccines. In GMOs, we have also many examples, but I can't enumerate all. Golden rice, it's a rice modified with daffodil gene to have more beta carotene, which the body converts to vitamin A. We have also a sugar beet. It's another crop that has been genetically modified, especially in United States. GMOs and the world hunger and also food insecurity is a problem, is a recurring problem in most parts of developing world. The role of genetically modified crops and food security is a subject of public controversy. Genetically modified crop could contribute to food production increases and higher food availability. There may also be an impact on food quality and food quality and nutrient composition. GMO crop could affect food safety and food quality. Genetically modified crops have numerous potential to eliminate poverty, to save money and malnutrition, and also to promote innovative practices. GMOs are the great potential. They promises solution to our food problems by making crops more resilient and fruitful and nutritious. Thank you for taking the time to be here and your full attention to my presentation. My candid appreciation.
I think the presentation is over now. It's up to the panel of viewers to come to a peer evaluation assessment of what you're doing. So we provided the floor to the examiner over here. Abigail, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Clever. Well, Mrs. Yeboua, first I have to congratulate you. You did a good job. So your presentation was acceptable. But I have some remarks and, of course, some mistakes that I have to point out. First, when you were presenting your work, you made some mistakes in terms of grammar and pronunciation. Let's first of all talk about grammar. So, in terms of grammar, you said it refer. Well, you shouldn't say that. This is the simple present, and this is the third personal pronoun. So you should say it refers instead. All right? There are actually many mistakes in terms of pronunciation, mainly concerning stress, word stress, Instead of saying tomato, you say tomato. Yeah, tomato. You also say something like unique. It's not unique. Unique. Professor instead of professor. Modified instead of modified. quality instead of quality. Yeah. Poverty instead of poverty. Now let's talk about your research paper. Is this your research paper? All right. First of all, the title page or the cover page. Why is there any comma here? Say genetically modified organisms, a solution for world hunger. Why didn't you use comma as solution? Why? So yeah, it's wrong. You should use comma here. And there's a picture here. Why did you take a picture? Why did you put your picture right here on the first page, on the cover page?
Because our teacher said it's here.
I'm very sorry. It's not the right place. You would put.
Me too, I see.
Yeah, you should put your picture in the abstract.
Yes.
The abstract. Well, tell me, what is the abstract in the document? The abstract. What is it? There is no abstract. Right? You didn't use any abstract here. Okay, let me check the table of contents. There is no abstract. So you cannot pretend to write a research paper without any abstract. It's unacceptable. Okay, after reading your research paper, I noticed that there are some mistakes as well. Okay, page 1. Do you have the document there?
No.
You have one. Okay, so I don't have much time, but there are a lot of mistakes that you have to correct. Alright. So I have a question to ask you, by the way. Why did you choose to work on this topic?
I choose to work on this topic because I think that if you have a solution to eliminate or reduce food insecurity, why not apply GMOs to remedy or eliminate those things?
That's all?
Yeah.
Well, thank you. But I have to tell you that this doesn't reflect a research paper. It doesn't respect the requirements of a research paper. I'm sorry. Don't take it personally. I'm just doing this to help you. All right?
Yes, sir.
That's all for me.
Well, as you may know, in everything is time, and all that starts well usually ends well. I'm gonna say I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you because you made it. You made a presentation that is really something that I personally do appreciate. As an English speaker, because I was a student myself at the beginning. I went to college to learn English. And you didn't learn English in the college, like Manuella University, but you learned English at Vocational English Training Center. And today, after learning for a while, you were able to present the work, your entire work in English, and this is amazing. That's why I said that I'm gonna start by congratulating you, say thank you, and big congrats for the job you did.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, of course, because our purpose here is not to crucify you. No, we are here to help you, to push you, to motivate you, and help you moving ahead in your dreams and plans.
Yes.
And for me, I can say your planes were considered to be kinky planes. What does it mean, kinky planes? I mean, everything that you were expected to do, you made it. But remember one thing, it's a human work, and no one is perfect. No one is perfect. I noticed some mistakes, grammatical mistakes, mispronouncing, and so on. But when I was learning English at university, one of the teacher, the late Professor Buka, he passed away, peace on him. He taught us that making mistakes is part of learning. And you can't learn a language without goofing. I mean, goofing is making mistakes. So, mistakes are things that are acceptable in learning. Because if you don't make mistakes, it means you're not learning. I noticed some mispronouncing words like advantage. Okay, advantage. Commercialized. Okay, experimental. Anti-biological. Not biologic, but biological. Okay, severe. Okay, equivalent. Okay, substantial. And then there was a pluralization mistake, like you said, many examples. Yeah, those are things that you need to take into account because, speaking good English doesn't mean that you have to speak like a bird or rapping, like 50 Cent.
Yes.
You don't need it. Speaking good English means speaking with a very appropriate accent and intonation. And this is what is required for the great speaker of English. You can sing like whoever, but if your accent and intonation is bad, people are gonna look you like, oh, what kind of English is that? You see what I mean?
Yes.
So I don't want to be so long. I have first of all, I have one question, maybe two. My first question is, what is your main plan for English? Because now you have just completed your education in English at VDC. What are you planning? How are you planning to use your English that you learned here in your social life and professional life? Can you tell me something about it?
Yes, I will use English in my professional life. But now I want to learn more again. Because as you say, I made many mistakes. So for now, I would like to learn more and after to include English in my professional life because I would like to become an interpreter. That's why I learn English.
Great answer. It's a great answer, but remember one thing. If you want to become an interpreter, make sure you need to put your mind to your work. It's not easy. It's not a piece of cake. It's not like you go and sit in Mandarin and then you order a burger, then you eat with juice and then you say, I'm an interpreter. It's a very demanding job.
Yes.
Yeah, you have to learn every day and to do research every day because the great interpreter is the one that has to be able to handle both languages at the same level.
Yes.
If you are like your English is so good and making a lot of mistakes in French, you can't be a great interpreter. So I wish you good luck. It's a good plan. May God bless you in achieving this big plan because when you're an international interpreter, a professional, you got cash, It's a very well-paid job. So good luck.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. So my second question, thank you for the first one. My second question is, how did you assess your learning process at VDC from the beginning to now?
Sorry, could you repeat, please?
Okay, I know maybe we're going to say it's okay. Okay, let me reformulate the question. How did you appreciate your learning process at the VDC from the first day you just put your step here to be hanged?
I appreciate all things that I've learned in sea. In the beginning, it was a little bit complicated, but step by step, I learned more, and I find the training very interesting.
Very interesting.
Interesting.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And talking about the learning conditions, what do you think?
The learning conditions are good.
Good?
Yes.
Are you ready to advise folks coming from outside to come and learn here?
Yes.
Yes? How many folks did you already talk about VDC since you were here?
My friends,
Okay, how many?
more than 20.
More than 20?
Yeah.
But it's too scanty. It's too scanty. I want you to talk about VDC at 1,000 folks outside. Yeah, I mean, connect all of your folks for WhatsApp, Facebook, and all of your relatives and friends, talking about them positively about what you have been facing and encountering at VDC. It can be a great help for us to make VDC known to the public in a very range way.
Yes, sir. I will do it.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you in advance. I do confess that you can do that. It's going to be helpful for us, okay?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay, good. Thank you. Thank you first because I would like really to thank you a little bit more for what you've done. Because, you know, English is we are teaching English as a foreign language here in Congo. It's not a second language, no. But you know, the fact that you have reached this level and can write a paper like this deserves a great congratulations. In fact, absolutely.
Thank you, sir.
It's not easy to do this. You know, we are 1 million, maybe 1,200,000 people in Congo here. Maybe 2% only speak English, and you are among them. So you have to say thank you to God, because behind you there are more than 1 million people who cannot even try to say, "Oh, this is a great idea." So now the problem is that I heard what you said, but I wanted just to bring an important correction to the word that you pronounced, develop. I think the word is not develop, but it's develop. I hope that you have to do that.
Yes,
And I would like
sir.
to help you to advise you. If you would like to work on pronunciation, you can go on Google. You know, when you go on translated English to French,
Yes.
when a word appears below there's a loudspeaker. When you click, it gives you the correct sound.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
if you're not very sure of what you're pronouncing, you might go online. Just Google translation tac. They will pronounce for you. That's
Thank
okay?
you, sir.
This is a job you can do every time. And nobody has a perfect pronunciation here because no one is perfect. And all the time we will make mistakes. Even we teachers can make mistakes. Even president can make mistakes. So education is an ongoing process. We're going to study until we pass away. So we go in the coffin, stop, education is over. But it's a process. It's an ongoing process. Every day we're learning. Every day we learn. So it means that we are filling the holes we have. There are holes we have in mind, and we should fill them to come to perfection. But we never reach it. It's the pursuit of perfection, but we don't reach perfection. It's okay?
Yes, it's okay.
The question I would like to ask you is, you developed a scientific subject
Yes.
about GMOs. I think today, you know watermelon.
Yes, sir. I know.
Okay. Watermelon is a fruit that people enjoy more. But watermelon has been submitted to what they call the genetic transformation. And it's becoming big, and it's no more, inside it's red. And it's, okay, do you think that GMOs may give us safe food? Because there's too much chemistry inside.
Yes.
Are we going to move toward a safe world or a dangerous world?
For my
Because
part,
we need, this body is natural.
yes.
You need to eat things which are natural.
Natural.
If you put more chemistry here, you destroy it. So tell me, how GMOs will help people face hunger in the future? Because this is chemistry.
For my part, I don't know how to answer to your question because I'm not a scientist.
You are a naughty scientist.
Yes.
Can you accept to eat GMOs you yourself?
Yes, I can accept if there are no danger. Yes.
Oh, thank you. I have just one question. Lewis, maybe you repeat.
Thank you, because for flow given. First of all, I would like to congratulate you for this job.
Thank you,
It's
sir.
just been fascinating. And there is something that I may emphasize is that you were constant and you were even in time all the time. You are one of the zestest students that I see here at ADC, and I've been amazed for that. So keep up the good work. Don't lose it. Don't let it go.
Thank you.
Even your performance was tremendous, and I did appreciate that. So I can't say anything more since we're supposed to save and play for the time. Everything has practically has been covered by staff members. If I may, maybe release one question, just one question, because in terms of grammars and pronunciation, so everything has been said, been covered. So my questions, the only questions, I think I got only one question. So my question is that, so what have you learned after doing such work?
After this work, I learned that it's possible to cure disease and also to have more food to eat, because in many countries in over the world they are starving, they have nothing to eat, and if GMOs can remedy of this problem, it will be a good thing for the people over the world, and also to cure some genetic disease like AIDS, cancer. If GMOs can be a solution to this disease, it will be a good thing for us. That's thing I learned.
Thanks a lot. So that's it, Mr. Kev.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, give a big round of applause for this. Just came to Bakel presentation. Thank you for you. And it was a great experience with us here at VDC. So don't forget to bring VDC's name to the end of the world.
Yes, sir.
Bring this wherever you would go, okay?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Give it out a big round of applause for them. We're just going to call immediately, I think, an academic debate outside with all the jury members here, of course under the leadership of the president. We found out that this girl has done a good job. First, she has been one of the most regular students in her class, committed to calm, a polite person who was in search of knowledge. And this knowledge got it because she chose a scientific topic that is in the field of genetic engineering. And on the basis of what she has been reporting here, we heard a lot of respectability toward technical words that cover this biological field of genetic engineering. And some jury members who know the girl have testified of her proficiency and of her availability, of her commitment and determination in the acquisition of this language. So, in conclusion, the verdict came to provide her with a grade of 17 over 20. So we would request her to keep on working hard on English, and this development will come to a great outcome in the future. Good luck. Thank you.
sir.
Okay, that's all. So we have now the second. We have.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's a pleasure for me to be talking to you this morning, all the way from Elizabeth City, North Carolina. My name is Professor Hortense Dodo Bedia. I am a food scientist, a molecular biologist, and a genetic engineer. I am a university professor and also the president of Ingate Gene, which is a biotechnology company, and we are located in Elizabeth City, North Carolina. It's truly a pleasure for me to come today and talk to you about biotechnology and about GMO. And I do want to send special thank you and special really congratulations to Grace Yeboua for selecting this topic, a very controversial topic, but congratulations for you for daring to do something different and to select science. So, and also congratulations to your institute, the English Institute. It's important to recognize that English is today the universal language. But at the same time, I'm going to encourage each one of you to speak English for international interaction. It is important for all African youth to also speak your own language, be it Lingala or whichever language that is whichever language that is spoken in your area. Please make sure that you can speak it. So also special congratulations to your academic advisor and to every person who had taken part to make this project, your project, a success. So you're inviting me to talk specifically about the application of biotechnology or the application of GMO in the Congo and how it can be specifically taken advantage of. Well, let me start by saying that I have looked at your proposal, I've looked at your thesis, your memoir, very well written. Congratulations for all the work that you did and for setting up the basis of biotechnology. Specifically, so I will not go back and detail what you have already covered. You did a pretty good job. What I would like to say though is not, before even I go into the specifics, is the fact that Africa, that I'm going to be calling KAMA, has, I would say, unfortunately, one more time, missed the biotechnology revolution. What do I mean? So KAMA Africa has missed the industrial revolution. We also miss the IT revolution. We miss in agriculture the green revolution that happened around in the 60s. And we also, in the world of agriculture, miss the biotechnology agriculture. And it is imperative that your generation of people do not miss the next generation, do not miss the next revolution, I should say, which is the AI and robotic revolution, artificial intelligence and robotics revolution. It is capital and it is critical that the African youth understand what robotics is, what artificial intelligence is, the pluses and the minuses, and for you to be proficient in this new technology and in these new sciences so that you can lead the world with it. And if you want me to come back and give you some basic information about the benefits and also the risk associated with robotics and AI, I can definitely do that. But I think that you probably have people in the Congo who can also provide this type of information. So let's not miss the next revolution, the revolution that is ongoing currently now. So the biotechnology revolution, why do I say that we missed it? So before that, there was the green revolution, and I think it has been mentioned in the 60s, where, there was extensive use of chemical fertilizer. And this green revolution got to the point where, because of resistance of insects to the chemical, to the pesticide, etc., it was time to find another way of doing agriculture. Then came the knowledge of biotechnology, splicing gene, introducing a new gene into a genome, etc. And so biotechnology was born. And I think, Grace, you did a very good job of laying down this background. But this happened in the mid-90s, early 90s, mid-90s, somewhere there, early 80s, well, mid-80s to mid-80s, I should say, mid-80s. Well, mid-80s to now, this is quite a long time. And in Africa, for the longest time, only South Africa had biosecurity, has a biosafety law that were voted. And eventually, Burkina Faso, thanks to the Rhodian movement, thanks to players in the Rhodian movement, the Burkina Faso also did vote a biosecurity law. Now, what is important about it is because before you can actually plant a biotech crop, before you can plant a GMO crop or a gene-edited crop for that matter in a country, that country needs to have certain protocol and certain laws. And so it is called the biosafety or the biosecurity law. And so today, as far as I know, Congo has not voted any biosafety and biosecurity law. So typically, you cannot really grow GMO in Congo legally. You cannot do that. So the point of discussion is almost mute. But let me say something that is important. People get very emotional when we're talking about GMO because there is so much on YouTube and so much in the social media about the negative and the Frankenstein food and things like that. And one of the reasons that I said that Africa missed that revolution is because Africa is not a player. Africa is a consumer of GMO, but not a producer of GMO. And it is very unfortunate because I personally, with many other people, went through a lot of countries, mostly in West Africa, but I also did come to the Congo, to Kenya, to Cameroon, and all those places to try to promote the fact that we needed to be very intelligent about this, and we needed to adopt biotechnology and GMO made by African for Africans. Because if within 7 years we did this, within 7 years, the continent of Africa can become food sustainable, right? And it can even start exporting to the rest of the world. And we all know that Africa, well, until recently, is the last frontier in terms of food. This is where we still see famine and children potentially dying of disease related to malnutrition and things of this nature. So about 40 countries in Africa did vote what is called the Cartagena Protocol, le Protocole de Carthagène. And Congo is one of those countries. So they not only voted this protocol, but they also ratified it, meaning that they're going to be following this protocol. And what does the protocol say? The protocol is specifically talking about the safety of living agricultural products, meaning that if I have a seed, if I have a plant, the commerce and the transfer of this plant or of that seed is under the guidance of the Cartagena Protocol. But if I have corn that has already been processed in powder, in flour, even if it is a GMO corn, anybody can import it or export it across because it's not a living GMO. And that's where the mistake was done. The word living made the whole difference, you see. So Africa today is consuming a lot of rice, a lot of corn, a lot of soybean, processed corn, processed soybean, processed rice, sold by any country that are GMO, right? So this corn, rice are GMO corn, GMO rice. And it is consumed by African. Yet at the same time, Africans have been conditioned to deprive themselves of growing their own corn, of growing their own rice, GMO corn. And this is where Africa could have made the difference for Africans. Because if you can grow it, and if you have some farmers, that's where farmers make money. So Europeans were very smart in infiltrating the African continent with non-governmental organizations, NGOs, pretending to be caring about people. But in fact, it was to really impress people against GMOs. And unfortunately, many of the African people today can be swearing why GMO is bad. But Europe is producing GMO. The US, all the soybean, all the corn, 90% of everything that we eat in here, that are corn, soybean, cotton, increasingly many other crops, are GMO. And this has been going on since the mid-90s. And to date, there is not one single headache, one single cough that has been connected to these GMOs. So like any science, there's always a risk. I'm not trying to say that GMO is not risky, but like any science, there's a risk. Like, for example, the science of developing a car, there's a risk, it's risky. But as a scientific community, the scientists sit down and they decide if the risk outweighs the problem. Then the scientific community decide to move forward with that science. So if I take the example of a car is a great thing. Today, because of car, we can move from one place, from Brazza, Mofwa to Kinshasa, or to some other places, etc. Throughout, you can cross the whole continent of Africa. But although the car is a great thing, it is also risky because you can also have an accident in a car, right? But the risk and the benefit outweighs the risk. And that's what it is. And it is exactly the same for GMOs. So in the GMO community, the benefit of African doing GMO by African for African outweighs the benefits. The benefit of this outweighs the risk. And so it's better to choose the beneficial aspect of it. So since you do not have any law in Congo, Mofwa, Brazzaville, you cannot grow GMO there. So it doesn't matter for any farmer really. So this is step one. But assuming even that you had the laws that were in your country, like for example, in South Africa, or some of the other country, Egypt, etc., Kenya, that have put in place biosecurity protocol and laws, then how can the farmer take advantage of that? Well, listen, the reality is that the common farmer, meaning that a farmer that have 1 acre of, corn here, or 1 acre of cassava here, or 1 acre of peanut here, or 2 or 3, is not really who the target market is for GMOs. GMOs, it take a long time to develop this product, right? And it take a lot of money. So these products are licensed to seed company. And so a seed company cannot just give it away, right? So you have to be able to profit when you're selling your seed to a farmer. And a small farmer cannot really be profitable. So you need to sell it to large-scale farming. So like here in the US, you have farmers. A friend of mine is a farmer. He have 500 acres, 5,000 acres. 5,000 acres. Vous imaginez? 5,000 pour une seule personne. Et ils sont nombreux. Il y en a qui en ont 100,000. Donc, this is the type of farmer that we are talking about. So the small farmer that people are trying to threaten and say, the small farmer cannot use his own seed and blah, blah, blah. That's not correct. Now, about this seed, any farmer can use the seed. The rice that we are all eating today, the rice that is sold and consumed in the Congo, is a rice that has been developed up to the up to the hybrid generation. Once you pass the hybrid generation, during the hybrid generation, you have what is called hybrid vigor. So the yield is good, the quality of the rice is good, etc. So if I'm doing 5,000 hectares of rice, GMO rice, then it makes sense for me to be doing it at F1 hybrid generation. But in the next generation, the hybrid vigor decrease. La vigueur et la qualité des aliments baisse et diminue. So it's not worthwhile. So for a small scale farmer, it's irrelevant. So this whole emotional play of how the farmers cannot use these seeds, it doesn't happen in real life. GMO is not really interested in small farmers. That's not who the target farmers are. It is the large scale farmers that are of interest. So let me see. I think I need to finish my presentation. Let me say that Kama Africa is the future of humanity. And the youth that you are, you really need to really understand the importance of science. And it is important to you, Grace, as well as your classmates, to understand that Africa, Kama, is the future of humanity. And to be able to be the leader in that humanity, we as Africans need to embrace the sciences and technology of the future. And I talked a little earlier about artificial intelligence and robotics and nanotechnology. These are the new phase of technology coming, which Africa and African youth that you have need to be embracing. So go and study it. Go and learn a little more about this. Instead of spending time, when you're done looking at YouTube for music, right? Do your 30 minutes of music and do 30 minutes of robotics. Do 30 minutes of learning of what is artificial intelligence, etc., etc. That's really the advice that I'd like to give you. You really need to embrace this science. So keep your mind and your head into the science and the technology of the future, AI, robotics, nanotechnology, etc., biotechnology. Keep your feet grounded, keep your feet rooted in your tradition, in the African tradition. Keep your African name, speak your African language, Know your African spirituality. Do not be afraid of it. And love yourself as a Black man or as a Black woman, because that molecule that is called melanin that make you Black is not only on your skin, on your hair, in your eyes, but it's also in your brain. And it gives you a lot of mental capacity. And that's why some of the best scientists are Black people. The people who built the United States of America that we all talk about are the Africans that were enslaved. The white folks were not working. Yeah, so they will claim that Thomas Edison did invent the light. It wasn't Thomas Edison. It was Latimer, a Black technician that was sweeping in his lab and cleaning up, and who also was very smart, like most Black people, who invented the filament that today make it possible for us to have the bulb light. Do you know that? So many inventions that are making the United States the leader were made by the African that were enslaved, because there were the people working from anything, you can mention it, from the elevator to the red light to the gas mask to the the blood, like taking your blood in plasma bag, les poches de sang, to so many different things were invented by Black people. But this was done during the time of slavery, so they couldn't take ownership of their own invention. Very few of them were able to do so. So again, congratulations one more time, Grace, to you, to your academic advisors, and to your friend and family for supporting you. And congratulations to this whole African youth that you are. Again, one more time, you are the future of humanity. And I'm counting on you to actually take your proper place in front of all the other youth all over humanity, all over this planet. So that was me, Professor Bedia Hortense Dodo. Very happy to be with you, and I wish you very good luck. Thank you.
Testimony that we're going to show to people that, of course, you have been at VDC and you wrapped up your education at VDC with a VDC certificate, which is well recognized nationally and internationally. So thank you so very much for being part of VTC, and you can make a good use of this certificate. Please give a big round of applause. Thank you. Now, a picture with the students. Yeah. Okay, let's go. 1, 2,